Chapter 1, Part 3. The aftermath of the Great War left the world in ruins, but the devastation went far beyond the immediate destruction. The nuclear fallout from the war had profound and lasting effects on the planet, altering the natural order in ways humanity had never anticipated. Among the most significant changes was the disruption of global weather patterns, particularly the ability of the atmosphere to produce snow. In the years following the Great War, the Earth's atmosphere became saturated with radioactive particles, toxic gases, and various pollutants that were released from the thousands of nuclear detonations across the globe. These particles fundamentally altered the chemical composition of the atmosphere, leading to a drastic change in weather patterns. One of the most noticeable effects was the disappearance of snow. Traditionally, snow forms when moisture in the atmosphere cools and condenses into ice crystals, which then fall to the ground as snowflakes. This process requires specific conditions, particularly cold temperatures and the right atmospheric pressure, which was severely disrupted by the fallout. The radioactive particles in the atmosphere absorbed and scattered sunlight in unusual ways, leading to a phenomenon known as nuclear winter in the immediate aftermath of the war. However, as the years passed, the effects of nuclear winter gave way to a new, more insidious problem. The particles not only blocked sunlight, but also interfered with the natural cooling processes of the atmosphere. The result was a gradual warming of the planet's surface, particularly in regions that had previously experienced regular snowfall. Moreover, the fallout disrupted the jet streams and other major air currents that play a critical role in regulating global weather patterns. These currents, once predictable and stable, became erratic and unpredictable. Storm systems that would have once brought cold air and snow to temperate regions were now diverted or dissipated altogether. The poles, which had once been the Earth's natural ice boxes, began to melt at an alarming rate, further contributing to the overall warming trend. In the face of these dramatic changes, cities around the world were forced to adapt. Some, particularly those with the resources and technological expertise, turned to artificial means to recreate the lost weather patterns. These cities developed advanced systems to produce artificial snow, using a combination of moisture generators, cooling towers, and particle dispersion technologies to mimic the natural process of snowfall. For these cities, the ability to produce snow became not just a luxury, but a necessity, particularly in regions where snow had been a critical part of the local ecosystem and economy. These artificial snow systems were marvels of modern engineering. They required vast amounts of energy and precise control over atmospheric conditions. The cities that implemented them did so at great cost, but the benefits were significant. Artificial snow allowed these cities to maintain their winter tourism industries, supported agriculture that relied on seasonal snowmelt, and preserved the cultural traditions associated with snow. However, New Shanghai was not one of these cities. In the chaotic years following the Great War, New Shanghai's leaders made the decision to prioritize other aspects of their city's reconstruction and development. They focused on technological innovation, economic growth, and maintaining security in a world that had become increasingly unstable. Artificial snow was seen as a luxury, an unnecessary expenditure in a city that had more pressing concerns. Instead of artificial snow, New Shanghai turned its attention to other forms of environmental control. The city became a hub for advanced biotechnology and synthetic biology, leading the world in the development of artificially created food. With traditional agriculture in disarray due to the disrupted weather patterns, New Shanghai scientists pioneered methods to grow food in controlled environments, completely independent of the natural weather. These bioreactors were capable of producing everything from basic staples like rice and wheat to more complex foods like fruits and vegetables and even meat. The organisms within the bioreactors were tailored to maximize nutritional output while minimizing resource input. They required only minimal water, which was recycled within the closed systems, and were powered by renewable energy sources, making them highly efficient. The food produced in these bioreactors was unlike anything humanity had ever consumed before. It was nutritionally optimized, free of contaminants, and could be produced in abundance regardless of the external environment. The process also allowed for the creation of new types of food, designed to meet the evolving tastes and dietary needs of the population. Over time, these synthetic foods became the norm in New Shanghai, replacing traditional agriculture almost entirely. The reliance on artificial food had profound effects on New Shanghai's society and culture. Traditional culinary practices, which had once been tied to the seasons and the availability of natural ingredients, began to fade. New dishes emerged based on the unique properties of synthetic ingredients. The concept of seasonality, which had once been a cornerstone of cuisine, became irrelevant in a city where all food was available year-round, regardless of the weather. The disappearance of snow and the rise of artificial food marked a significant shift in the way humanity interacted with the environment. In New Shanghai, these changes were embraced as part of the new normal, a necessary adaptation to a world irrevocably altered by the Great War. The city became a symbol of resilience and innovation, a place where technology had replaced nature, and where the future was being forged in laboratories rather than fields. Yet for all its advances, New Shanghai remained a city haunted by the loss of the natural world. The absence of snow was a constant reminder of what had been lost, a stark symbol of the price paid for progress. While other cities enjoyed their artificial winters, New Shanghai citizens could only look at old photographs and wonder at a time when snow fell naturally from the sky, blanketing the world in white. In this new world, the weather patterns of the past were just a memory, and the seasons had been replaced by the steady, unchanging rhythm of a synthetic environment. The Great War had reshaped the planet, and humanity had been forced to adapt or perish. So no winter wonderland for Christmas.